All right, so we're in Inventor here, and what we're going to do is we are going to go and start a 2D sketch. Now, for the most part, when I start sketches or do them, what happens, have a seat and get to work, instead of holding your arms up in the air like Drew. All right, so what we do for the most part is we need to use a work plane. That's going to be this XY work plane. I'm going to click on that one time, and that will create this view that you see right here. Remember I talked yesterday about the origin? That's this point right in the middle. Yep. And we're going to base a lot of our drawings on the origin. Now, I'm going to use my center mouse wheel and scroll up a couple times. And then I'm just going to press and hold on the mouse wheel and do what's called pan. And I'm going to pull this down and to the left. Now, if you've taken any geography in your classes in 8th grade, or maybe you're in advanced geography or whatever, what you'll notice is this is just the, what do they call it? The coordinate system. This is x positive, y positive. This is x positive, or x negative, y positive, and so on. And I always like to work up in the xy positive corner of the coordinate system. Now, we're going to start the rectangle tool, and let's take a look at our camera here. We have to have this be 1.5 by 1.5 inches. What's up?
How do I get to that?
Have you got Inventor started?
No,
that's okay. Start Inventor. We'll catch you up in bits. So I'm going to change back to my Inventor file. So I started the rectangle tool. Is everybody with me?
Yeah. Yes.
Tell me if you're not. I know he's not. I know he's not, but
I am with
okay, good. So rectangle tool, I'm going to put the cursor right on the origin here. That little green dot, it becomes a green dot, and that way I know I'm on it. And I'm going to click on that, and I'm going to pull this out. Now, mine is showing really big numbers because I zoomed out pretty far. But we know that I want to be at the about 1.5 by 1.5. So I don't have to be perfect with this. I just get close enough, and then I click. Okay? I'm just going to zoom in by rotating my mouse wheel. The next step here is we've done step number 3, which is make our rectangle. So we're now on to step 4, which is to dimension it. And it's important that you dimension everything in Inventor, all right? Never delete dimensions, okay? That is one of the rules we have here. Do not delete dimensions. So I'm going to click on the dimension tool, and I'll choose the top line, and I'll move it up away from the object line. This blue line here is the object line. I'll move the dimension up, and I'm going to click, and it's going to ask me if I want to edit this dimension, which I do want to do. I'm going to put in 1.5. Now, yes, you do. Okay. So I dimension the top 1.5 inches. The next one, okay, my dimension tool is still active. I'm going to click on that, and I'm also going to make this dimension 1.5 inches. So this is a cube, which means it's 1.5, or, well, it's a square, sorry, a rectangle. So it's 1.5 by 1.5, and we're going to extrude it in a minute. How is everybody doing with this? Anybody behind? Other than Naden here? What's through? Okay. Marco, are you getting it? 1.5 by 1.5. That's right, which is 1.5 inches.
We did it.
Okay? So we have dimensioned our part. the next step is we need to exit the sketch because we're going to do what's called an extrusion. So I'm going to Alt-Tab back to this. So up in the upper right corner is the word Finish Sketch. So when you have your two 1.5 dimensions on there, you hit Finish Sketch. Now you'll notice this has switched to an isometric view. That's so that you can see things three-dimensionally. But the problem is I can't see most of the drawing. Some of it I can. So up in the upper right corner is what's called the view cube. In the view cube, if you put your cursor over there, you don't have to click or anything, will give you a little icon that looks like a house. And it's up to the left corner of the view cube. I'm going to click on that, and that's going to bring my view completely into the graphics area.
Wow. Oh my gosh. Wow.
You guys are amazed by the simplest things. How we doing?
Amazing.
All right. Everybody ready to go on to the next step? Say no if you are not. All right, next step.
Can you help me get to the first part?
Yeah, I can. Let me do the extrude here, and then I'll come over and help you out real quick. So you got Inventor going now?
Yep.
Did you click on part?
I don't even know. Start working. Start working. The part.
Okay. Colby, can you slide over and help him? All right, so I'm going to extrude this part now. So the Extrude Tool is right up here. It's underneath 3D Model. And in these boxes, these dialog boxes, I like to work from top to bottom and from left to right. And yesterday I showed you three things for the direction. We have the direction where it comes towards us, and probably 80% of the time, that's exactly what I do. You can also have it go behind the work plane, or you can have it get split by the work plane. Personally, I just prefer to stay with coming towards me. So distance A is going to be 0.75 inches, and that's because the cubes are 0.75 inches thick. And then once I have that changed, I say OK. All right.
Then you click OK.
And then click OK. So what you should have right now is this block that's 1.5 inches by 1.5 inches. If you don't have this block as 1.5 inches by 1.5 inches, you can edit it. Okay? So I'm looking, and I saw 2 or 3 people already that had wrong sizes for the 1.5 by 1.5. So here's how you edit it. Hold on, guys. On the left-hand side of the screen, okay, is what I call the model tree. It's right here. You're going to see it say part 1, 2, 3, 4, whatever. And then most of the way down, you're going to see it say Extrusion 1.
Oh, yeah.
Now, next to the Extrusion 1, to the left of it, is a little plus sign. Click on that, and you'll see the word Sketch 1. If you double-click on Sketch 1, it reactivates your sketch, and then you can change these dimensions to 1.5 by double-clicking on them and changing the number to 1.5, then hitting the green arrow. Okay? And then you can finish the sketch, and it should come back.
This is very easy.
Yeah, it's not really hard once you understand
It is simple.
Okay, we got to use it 1.5? Yeah, Brody, sorry. You got it?
I'm right.
There you go. What do you want? Are you off on your own? Okay. All right. 1.5.
Where? Stress analysis.
What's that mean? You're good. We'll talk about saving in a couple seconds. So good question.
Can you see mine real quick?
Well, yeah, we like working half and half here.
Okay. I need a center.
What's that?
I like the center.
Well, okay, that's what you want to do. All right. So now we have Alt Tab. We have this part done. The next thing we're going to do is we are going to save our part. Now, how you do saving here is you go up to the top row, and there's multiple ways to do saves. You can hit File and click on Save if you want, or the thing I prefer is to go to this fourth icon over from the left. It's what's called a floppy disk. You guys don't know what they were, but they were the way that we made, we put computers on programs. They were the way that we transferred information for a long time. But they're gone. But this is the icon for save. So I'm going to click on that. Now, when you click on save, you're going to get it automatically go to save as, which is fine. You want to save this on your H drive. And how you do that is you go to where it says save in, and mine says desktop. Yours may come up with something else, I don't know what. But you click on that, and then down most of the way, I find my last name, home directory H. You want to look for that, okay? Now, when you do that, you have file name. So this is where we're going to change this. And where mine says part 4, yours probably says part 1. I'm going to change that to be practice. So Practice. Oops.
Yeah.
In your H drive, by the way, if you have a folder that you're putting all your stuff in, you can just put this file in your folder or wherever you want to do it. Here's the thing you never do with files once you put them in a location on your H drive. You never move them and you never rename them. Okay? Those are the two big sins in CAD land, is renaming files and moving them. So don't ever do that. If you do have to do that, tell me and then we can do it correctly so that it works. But anyways. All right. Then you just hit the word save. And what will happen is at the top, before I did that, there was a little star next to where it said part 4. But now that's gone and it just says practice. Up at the top where it says the word practice. Okay. Now, I'm going to take my part and I'm going to change it a little bit. And this is what I'm going to change it to. Show you. Okay. Oops. So this is the part now. Okay. So take a look at it up on the screen so you know what we're drawing. Okay. If you take a look at it, I'm going to change the view of this. You see it has this little blue piece coming off of it, off the front of it. Okay. So this is going to be the front view of this part. This will be the right-hand side view. And then this, whoops, is the top view of it. So let's do this additional part, I guess is the best way to put it. We're going to add this blue box onto the front of our inventor part. So I'm going to press Alt-Tab here. I'm going to get back to my screen. Now, this is what's called an additive technique. We're adding something to the block. So the first thing we need to do is we need to go to our 2D sketching tool and click on that. So we're going to hit our sketching tool. Now, what's different here is because we're not at the start of the drawing, we don't have to create work planes, but we do have to create a plane on which to put our piece of paper. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to go to the front of this part, and you'll see that it's going to light up in like a green color. It's a highlight, okay? And Drew, is that your cell phone?
No.
Oh. Well, the next time it's not your cell phone, I'm going to ask you to put it in the front of the room. Anyways, so I'm going to click on that front face, and you'll see that it just spun around, and now I'm looking at the very front. Okay, now, to get this so that I can see the entire thing, nicely zoomed, I could do it a couple ways. I could use my mouse wheel, but if I come to the view cube right here, you'll notice it says the word front. And when I click on that, it's going to center itself nicely in my graphics area. All right. We're going to use the rectangle tool. And for this part, the block, okay, that little 3/4 inch block, comes from where our origin is, right here. I'm going to click on that. I'm going to pull up and to the right till I get somewhere near 0.75 inches. Doesn't have to be perfect, okay? Doesn't have to be at all perfect because we're going to add dimensions. So I'm going to click right there. They 0.75 on both, but it won't be perfect, so don't even try. Just get close to it.
I got it perfect.
Nice. Bet you don't. All right. Dimension tool. So I start my dimension tool, and I'm going to go to my cube that I just created, and I'm going to click on the top line, and I'm going to bring my dimension out. You want to make sure that you don't leave your dimensions laying on the line. You want to bring them out away from it. Okay? And I'm going to click one time. I'm going to put in my dimension of 0.75. And then I'm going to do the other dimension on the opposite side. And I'm going to put in 0.75 there and hit enter or the green check mark. And I have a cube that has 0.75 by 0.75. How's everybody doing with that? Anybody behind?
The second one's inside the gray area.
What's that?
Yeah, I thought you said not to put them in the gray area.
These are model dimensions, so they can go in the gray area. I understand for dimension parts, you have to not put them in the gray. All right. So, was it you, Aiden? Yeah. Okay. We'll see if we can get you some help again. All right. I'm going to green check mark this. And can anybody tell me to make this block come out towards me? What am I going to do?
Extrude.
Extrude, right?
Okay.
And it's going to extrude out 0.75 inches. And I'm going to say OK. Now, once I've got that done, I'm going to hit save to save this part. Save it so that you can have the part look like this. So that's additive. What? Good. Okay. All right, where are you at? Okay, so you first, I think you got it. Have you extruded this? Go up here to the house. Click that. Yeah, you have. Okay. Click the front. There you go. Perfect. All right, start the rectangle tool. Go down the origin. Click there. Pull it up and out. There you go. Stop right there. Click. Left click. All right, good. Dimension tool. Click the top line. Pull this up. Click there. 0.75. Enter. We're smart. Same thing for that line. Yep. 0.75. Okay. Finish sketch. Okay, let's get this isometrically. Go to the house. There you go. Hold on a second. Extrude. 0.75. And say okay. Yeah, go ahead. Next time you ask me to go to the bathroom, be sure you have it in your phone. That looks good. Sewer. Well, you haven't saved it yet. Save it as go here.
Okay, then.
Okay, so that's called additive because we've added material, all right? Now, the next one that we're going to do is called subtractive. So we're going to take material away. So this guy, subtractive, is going to go like this. Okay? So this is the part subtractive. So basically what we're doing is we're taking our red square and we're taking this block away from it in our red square. So here we go. I'm going to start my 2D sketch. And I'm going to put my sketch paper on a surface, and that's going to be this surface right here. Okay? I'm going to click on that, and it's not centered, so I'm going to hit front. Whoops, I hit the wrong one. There we go. There's front. Now, I'm going to go start my rectangle tool, and I'm going to go to this upper right corner. I'm going to pull down like this till I get into the gray block, and I'm going to click. Now I'm going to do dimensions, and then my two dimensions are going to be 0.75 by 0.75. Now, once I have those two dimensions, is everybody okay so far? Okay. I'm going to hit finish sketch. The upper right corner when you're doing a sketch, green check mark. Okay. Now, I've got this part, this block right here on the inside, that has to be taken away from the rest of this block. So I want you to watch up front with me because we're going to add something to our extrude job. So here's the extrude command.
Negative. No, go back.
And what you want to do is you want to come down here where it says output, Boolean. The first choice, if you put your cursor on there and just let it set for a second, says join. That's when you add something, you join things together. But this instance, we are going to cut because we're taking things away. So you go to the little icon that looks like a block with a red block, and you select that. The other thing that you need to do here is you need to tell it how deep. And you can see where it says distance A, it says 0.75. In this case, that would be correct. I know that I want this to go 0.75 back. But instead, to the right of that is three red lines with a down arrow through it. And when you put your cursor on there, it'll say through all. And that's exactly what I want to do. I want it to go through all, and I want it to say OK. And that is going to subtract away
How do you get rid of that box?
that block. Which box are you talking about?
I don't know what's going on.
Okay, you went the wrong direction, so use the undo tool. All right, good. Now extrude. Good. Come out here. Oh, it's already selected for you. You want to go down here and hit remove, and then through all right there. You can say okay. There you go. You weren't too bad off. Okay. Something a little quick, right? I don't know if this is not extruded 0.75.
Oh, it is.
Is it? All right. That's wrong. No problem. All right. We got it. So this is what's called subtractive. It's yeah, it's this one. Yeah. Okay. So this is a subtractive technique for taking things away. Subtractive is what they do when you do any sort of a machining process. All right, so you guys got this done for today. Here's what I want you to do: take out one of your blocks that you're going to be doing for your puzzle piece and draw it.
How do we save this?
You don't need to. Hit save, and it'll automatically do it.
Then how I can pick up on I want to make something from scratch.
Okay, that's a good question. All right, so Zach just asked, how do you make something from scratch? So to go back to the beginning screen, okay, there's a couple ways to do it. One of them is right here, you'll see a little house. Look at that little house. Or at the top, there are also, about the middle of the very top row there is a little house. So wherever you see a little house, that means home. So I'm going to hit the little house, and that'll bring me back to here. And then you can start another part.
Wow, it's saved.
Okay?
Saved.
Nice. Saving is always